Do you think if we started all over with the intent of creating a fairer and more equitable and egalitarian society, we would choose to have a parliamentary system with courts monopolized by one profession? That we would choose to have the biggest bullies amongst us act as enforcers eager to employ violence?
Hey, I know. Let's choose the least suitable amongst us, the most manipulative and untrustworthy, and give them all our power every 4 years. Then we allow them to control all of our wealth, ensuring they get the lion's share first. The crumbs they will use to pay for our healthcare and to educate our kids. They will be inaccessible to us, but will take meetings with wealthy foreign powers at the drop of a hat. It will be great.
You know what else we should do? Let's have them make up all sorts of rules that are not applicable to them and are written in such a fashion as to be completely confusing to the average individual, even requiring a special license to help people navigate the rules. Then we convince them that ignorance of the rules is no excuse for breaking them and put the force of law behind it so they can justify employing violence against any who questions them.
But we will need people to enforce those rules.
Absolutely, and we will hire some of the toughest amongst us and tell them they don't have to understand the rules and give them some sort of immunity. They will be able to lie to the people, but if the people lie to them, they'll go straight to jail. The enforcers won't be expected to understand the rules, just know when they're able to claim someone broke them.
But what will we do with those who break the arbitrary rules? And how will we convince people to accept them as law?
Well, that's super easy. We torture them. We set up prisons, and when someone even questions our authority, we give them torture light. They'll look just like the dungeons of old, but more secure. And we won't actually cause physical harm most of the time, but we will use the most devious methods to make their lives hellish. We know they're an animal that thrives on community and social contact, and they need to belong, so we'll lock them in tiny cells for extended periods of time, slowly driving them mad. It'll be great.
There's no way we can get the majority to agree to that.
Actually, that'll be easy too. All we have to do is divide them as much as possible and get them to think the other group is the enemy for not pulling their weight. Every 4 years, we'll have these things called elections where they can decide who to give their power. It'll give the illusion of consent and choice, but they'll only be able to choose from amongst those we select. And those we will pay very handsomely with benefits and pensions, so that once in power, they will go along. We get them to divide themselves based on nonsensical lines like the color of their skin or their ages or the color of their hair. They'll be so busy fighting each other they'll never even realize we're the ones stealing their wealth.
But eventually, someone will figure it out, won't they?
Oh, undoubtedly, but that's okay too. We'll use the instinct of the group to hate anyone who doesn't belong and is a potential threat, then label them as hateful and rejecting society and wanting more than the others, and thus a danger to the community. It's almost too easy to do. All we need is to label them as anti-something. We will conflate so many different concepts: persons and people, society and community, statutes and law. Those who see the deception will seem insane to those who don't want to question, and we can just label them as anti-government or anti-social or some sort of terrorist. Painting them as the enemy will be easy because most people won't be able to accept the fact that they've been fooled since birth. They'll be so heavily invested in our fiction they won't be able to see past the benefits that we allow them. Then we slowly over time start restricting those benefits. It will be great.
But what about justice? Won't people want to seek remedy in a court of law?
Absolutely, but that will be easy. We will own them too. There will be enormous benefit and prestige for our judges, and we will allow the people some wins, so it seems like there is fairness and the judges care about them. But the moment one of the awakening people claims the right to opt out, bang! We claim they are obstructing the courts or undermining the administration of justice. Then it's torture time. Most will be too fearful to question us too vigorously. It'll be great.
Well, sounds good. But we will need names for our new government.
Got it covered. We're going to use words in our legal name that'll cause them to believe we have natural and inherent authority. They're used to being subjects to kings and queens, so we'll include the word crown, and we want to express that we have the power even without their consent, though we all know that's not true. So we'll include the word right. Then we just mention previously existing common law boundaries, so for Canada we'll call ourselves the Crown and the Right of Canada. Of course, we could just name it Acme Tyrant de facto Government, but that would reveal too much about our actual nature. And they'll assume the word crown and the term in right of means they have authority already.
If the people find out, they will string us up or lop off our heads. It has happened before.
But they never will know who we are. All of their elected officials will be our puppets. And those who don't want to play, we make sure have a nasty accident. It'll be great, John, just like I said.